So this is Elise McGannon, and we thought that it would be cool to get to know the person who's behind the podcast, and also just know you a little bit as a senior in high school.
Yeah.
Who's thoughtful and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what's in your life you're so nervous about sharing, Elise?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't really have anything to be nervous about or nervous about sharing, but I don't know. It makes me like uncomfortable to talk about it, to talk about myself.
What don't you want to seem like to other people?
Well, I don't want to not seem like something because all I'm going to be is myself. But that's what I'm. That's how I am. I hold myself to do that. But I guess I'm just nervous that being myself is going to be something that's not what people will be interested in. Because that's a typical high school kind of like, you want to be interesting. You want to be like, I'm an IB psychology right now, and we're talking about how everyone wants to be a special snowflake. Like, that's just kind of a thing that everyone feels, but I feel it, and I can't not feel it.
Yeah,
it's there.
And everybody's feeling that. That's why we need this podcast.
Yeah.
But then you're getting a really interesting perspective right now that you're nervous about it.
Mm-hmm.
So other people will be nervous to share.
Yeah, definitely. And you can kind of see, but I mean, they want to, though.
And we need them to.
Yeah, and we need, yeah. And, yeah.
Let's talk about IB Psych. What else are you learning in there? You like that class?
Yeah, I really, really, really love that class. Last week we went to the cafeteria, and she was like, Mrs. Quaker said, just pretend to be a second lunch eater person. And so we went in there, and we were just analyzing and observing all the students and where they sat. And then we had to do kind of a research paper on it. And my group focused on conformity in high school and insecurities and why kids sit where they sit. So when we were in the cafeteria, we noticed all these things that I hadn't even really, I noticed before, but I hadn't thought about how it was connected to conformity.
Mm-hmm.
And one big thing that really stuck with me was that all the people who are very popular on social media, very well followed and have many likes and everything, were all on their phones. And they weren't having a conversation. We focused on if they were co-ed tables or if it was just girls sitting with girls and guys sitting with guys, and then we kind of got into that and wondered why that was, or the comfort level with other genders and everything. It was really interesting.
So turning that on yourself, what are your own patterns at lunch?
I'm ashamed to say it because I totally just fall into the conformity street. Like you sit with your friends, and then you sit at the same table for the entire trimester. And I'm sure that some people are like, yeah, that's what I do. And then some people will probably say, no, that's not what I do. But yeah, what I've noticed is that you find your group and you're really nervous, oh, I need to find my friends to sit with. And then you sit with them for the entire duration of the trimester. And when you think about it, it's kind of not really getting any experience with other people. And it's a little bit disappointing.
So I have two questions. One, why is it disappointing? But two, do we have to look at, is conformity always bad?
I think it's disappointing because there's so many people in the school that you could meet and really connect with or have a friendship with or learn new things from not just school but from other people that you're too nervous to do because I guess the conformity thing, which now is bad and good, I feel like we'd have to study it a little bit more. But right now I'm thinking along the lines in high school conformity is bad because the definition of it is when you're aligning your attitudes to others, either to please them or to just not stand out because you're too nervous to stand out. And doing that is that's not being yourself. Which is, that's not a good thing.
So that's the psychology definition of conformity, is that aligning your morals with someone else.
That's the internet's definition.
Okay.
Yeah, I Googled it.
Okay. what have you learned from doing and organizing the podcast so far about people or conformity or about technology, or just how are you learning? I mean, how's the year been? I guess specifically with the podcast.
Yeah, with the podcast, what I've learned is that what I would like, our goal was for everyone to stop judging, get to know people before you make an assumption on them, but also just to get to know someone, to know things about people and be thoughtful. And I've learned that I myself thought I was very much like that, but I realized that I'm not as much as I thought I was, because Ben Baird, who's been in my grade for most of my life, and Tyler Merrick, who's been in my grade for most of my life, I had no idea what they wanted to do when they grew up, and they already know. But I see them every day for a good part of the year, and it just kills me that I didn't know that, because, not that I should, I'm not like crazy good friends with them, but it feels like, I don't know, just as humans, like, we have to be together and work together to help. But I think through the podcast I've learned that I need to be more open to conversation and asking questions and just learning more about people.
Because it offers you what? Like, what is that?
I have to think for a
yeah,
second.
how does that make the soul better? Or how does that help?
Well, I think there's a lot that it helps with. One is it could like help you grow as your own person, figure out what you want to do. I don't know, that's a hard question, because there's so many like roads that it could go down. And it just also helps you as either a class in school, like your own grade, or as a community, like knowing who's who and what they do and just how you could help them, I guess. But I don't know, as an example, like when I think of Tyler, if I'm in accounting, I'll be thinking about him like, oh, I could tell him that, even though he probably knows it. Or I'll think of Amaya when I'm listening to a cool song. I'm like, I should show her this song. And it's like just thinking about nice stuff to do for other people.
So a really specific example of that is like, we know that Ben Baird plays music.
Yeah.
He can help our podcast.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So we can go, not only me showing them what I think they might like, but you can really help me be better at what I'm trying to do. And we have an example of that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. How's your family? What's your family consist of?
I have my mom, Laura, and my dad, Jim, and they hate when I call them by their first names, so I hope that they listen to this. My sister, she's younger than me, Lane, and she's a freshman. Okay. And my brother, he is Henry, but he's like living in North Carolina going to college. He's 20. He just turned 20 this month. I get along with them really well. My younger sister especially, I wonder if maybe it's because we shared a room all the way up until I was like 14 or something. But she's my best friend.
Cool.
She's like my built-in best friend. And my mom, I guess I'm just kind of her like replica. People tell me that all the time. And my dad, I mean, I guess I just get along with him really well. We like to do the same things. And
such as?
Oh, well, we take bike rides a lot, I guess, and we go see shows and like theater. And we like to travel together and just go eat.
So how is it to be a teenager who likes her parents?
It's very nice.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Share Chair. The new music you're hearing is by the talented Spring Lake High School senior Ben Baird. Next week, we are spicing things up a bit with a faculty member guest. Stay tuned.